So the world's largest waterfall that separates Zimbabwe from Zambia doesn't quite look the same.
You can see how dry the soil is. Crops are thirsty and they are struggling. Zimbabwe's government says it needs more than $2 billion in aid to feed hungry Zimbabweans. And President Emmerson Mnangagwa has declared a state of disaster.
Top on our priority is securing food for all Zimbabweans.
Families are now wondering how they're going to survive now and in the coming months from now when things are expected to get worse. The United Nations says more than 500,000 children in Zimbabwe are at risk of malnutrition.
60% of the crops that were planted were basically lost due to the drought.
No Zimbabwean must succumb to or die from hunger.
Oh, wow.
These are red wig limes for vermicomposting. So it's like waste management for all household waste. This now becomes compost. Nothing is smelly. So you can even put them under your sink in the kitchen. Yeah. Someone wants to eat Fear Factor. When I was growing up, we were exposed to hard labor in terms of agriculture. We were required to do some work before we could attend school by our parents, enduring the pain that was involved in the daily work before I could attend school, ending up sleeping during lessons at school. I thought, no, this is not something that I would want to experience or my children to experience when I grow up. If my parents were doing things this way, what better ways can I innovate? So that farming becomes something attractive to youth, something interesting, not something that is only associated with heavy work, dirty work, but something that is a source of employment for us who are unemployed or failing to find work after college.
Amidst the challenges facing an agriculturally dependent nation struck by drought, Clive stands as a shining example of hope, perseverance, and adaptability for farmers across Zimbabwe. After successfully implementing innovations on his own farms, he went on to establish Shift Organic Technologies, an organization dedicated to educating communities across Zimbabwe on how to establish and sustain climate-smart organic farming practices.
Shift Organic Technologies, there's an agro-based startup company that focuses on the development of climate-smart integrated organic farming systems. Most of the families in Zimbabwe, they are land on agriculture, and most of them are finding it difficult even to have relish for their everyday meal. We are facing droughts. Water is becoming a very big challenge. Being able to teach others so that they also adopt my innovations and improve in terms of productivity and efficiency in their farms. As I grow, they are also growing. We are able to feed our families using the less water that we have. If you feed a family, you are able to feed a nation.
With nearly 2 out of every 3 people in Zimbabwe working in agriculture, innovation and education are more necessary than ever as environmental challenges continue to strain the industry. This urgency is even greater when you consider that the vast majority of the workforce is made up of women, many of whom lack the resources and systems needed to earn an independent income from the work they do.
The percentage of women is very high in Zimbabwe compared to men. That same ratio applies to the farming sector. All the hard work is done by women. When they go and sell the produce, the men keep the money because the men have the identity documents. The men have bank accounts of which the woman will actually not have. So women will not have access to that money in spite of all the hard work that they do.
Along with Shift Organic's forward-thinking innovations in farming, women's rights and financial independence is just as fundamental to facilitating change here in Zimbabwe. Which made Women in Agriculture Union, also known as WAU, the perfect organization to host a workshop alongside.
Women in Agriculture Union is a membership-based umbrella organization strengthening the capacity of women to produce, process, package, brand, and market their agribusinesses.
We work even on the social side, getting national identification for the women. Once they have IDs, they are now able to open a bank account and can now farm their space for themselves.
At WOW, we believe there is no farmer too small. We have got our farmers from backyard farmers to commercial farmers. So I always encourage women that we are all farmers. Even if you have one tomato plant, on being a farmer, own it and proudly say to people, I'm a farmer. I got tomatoes in my house, because you got a plant that's giving you tomatoes.
Together with Shift Organic, WAU, and Action Change, we traveled to SOS Children's Home to provide orphanage staff and other women in the community with the education and materials necessary to begin producing their own organic fertilizer.
We are here today to train women farmers on vermicompost, vermiculture, encouraging women that they should shift from synthetic fertilizers, making their own organic fertilizers using their kitchen waste. If you have got excess vegetables, you don't now need to just throw them away. You can actually make a very healthy fertilizer from them.
While at SOS, we also restored a defunct aquaponics system, using the project as an opportunity to further educate those who attended our workshop.
If we raise fish and use the water from the fish, which is fertile water, the water that will be running through hydroponics systems, it will fertilize their vegetables. And it will still cycle back, now filtered and clean.
With water so scarce, methods like these that conserve the limited resources available can make or break someone's livelihood. Keeping this in mind, we felt inspired by the women of the workshop to leave one final impact. We visited Blossom, a lady from the workshop who lacked an efficient way to water her crops. So we funded and installed a new drip irrigation system and water tank on our property, which is going to help her reduce water waste while increasing her crop output.
And the best part, we created a program where a portion of her profits will go towards installing an irrigation system for the next woman in the workshop.
With the profits, I'm going to empower another woman to install also a drip system, and the cycle will continue until we are a force of women who are able to grow, to sell, to empower the next woman.
Soon, every woman from our workshop will have a sustainable system and a thriving business right on their own land.
Women are the pillar of every household. Most farms are being run by women. So if you empower women, we empower the nation.
From Blossom to Clive to Olga and everyone in between, this project and these people embody the idea that as humans, we grow faster and further together.
By bringing together what we have, we can actually touch more communities. We have Shift Organics that has got the knowledge. We have Action Change and the Murph Foundation that made this a reality. Pulling together the resources, we are then able to actually implement positive projects on the ground. It takes working together for us to achieve a change.
It was a blessing to be able to connect with these women and share the tools that will allow them to feed their families and shape their futures on their own terms.
This project showed me that sometimes it isn't a big material impact that makes the most change. That even a few small seeds with the right knowledge and a supportive community can bloom into sustainable independence and opportunity for generations to come.
That the true path to change is through caring for our home and each other. One innovation, one woman, and one seed at a time.
That is the true power of agriculture. So as always, make sure to donate to the Murph Foundation so we can keep doing good in this world.
Hakusikungwara